Yes. Okay, so now we've got it. So yes. So good morning, all. Um, so Yeller, you just mentioned, or just for the record.
Yeah, for the record, no updates from my side. Been busy with work-related things, so not much time. So no updates.
Okay. So from my end, working on the scintillation detector.
Hmm.
I think the big news this week is that I'm not as smart as I think I am. So uh, the meaning that a lot of the op amp design is really flaky. I think I don't know if it makes sense from the hardware point of view. If you, the uh, the idea of using a single supply op amp, in other words, the negative power terminal is connected right to ground, and then you feed it positive power, obviously on the plus. 3.3 volts from the microcontroller. First of all, it doesn't really give you a lot of headroom. And second of all, it introduces a whole bunch of problems with a signal that is referenced to zero, and then that's going to rise as a pulse. Because basically most op amps, even the ones that say they'll go right down to zero, not really. Um, so there's some practical problems. So that design complexity of adapting to a single supply op amp really overwhelms the convenience of using a single supply. So the idea now is the next pass, I'm going to have a zero with a plus supply and a minus supply. That way, a zero referenced input doesn't cause a whole bunch of problems. Plus, it gives you a little bit more headroom. So we'll have, instead of 0 to 3.3 volts, 0 to 0 to, minus 3.3 to 3.3. So it gives you, basically double the headroom and a simpler design. So that's basically it for me. The trying a few more tricks with the existing prototype board. I can hack some components and cut some traces and play around with it. But um, I think that's basically setting up for another pass at the circuit board. So probably a lot simpler too. But, you and anyway, that's it for me. Oh yeah, actually, going back to the Zen. No, I have my Zen as basically the in fixed location. So in real-time mode, 5 minutes, an update every 5 minutes. But I notice it loses its Ethernet, not Ethernet, a Wi-Fi connection. So I
Hmm.
can come back after a little while, and the little WF flag is turned red, and it says I can't make connection to the Wi-Fi. It's okay. So fine, I reset it. Like this. Either two ways. One is the brutal way. I just hit the top button, and that just causes a hardware reset, and it comes right back. The
Hmm.
other one is the uh, I just go to profile one to profile two, and then back to profile one, and it reconnects. But I went looking for, like, okay, so where is it? Like this wasn't recently, but I went looking for it. Where in the code does that WF flag turn red, right? And I was having trouble finding it. Um, and it seems to me that it's the part that says, okay, I just successfully communicated, is separate from the part that says, oh, I need to turn the WF flag red.
That
And
is true. Yeah.
I found that really complicated. And I just don't know enough about the firmware. It's changed so much since the last time I've had a serious look at it that I just, yeah, just don't want to go in there. But I was thinking more of okay, I'm a hardware guy, I think, in terms of state machines. That's just the way I am. The have a basically a little state machine that basically that maintains the state of the Wi-Fi connection, um, and the reporting worker would just ask the state machine, "Do I have a connection? If not, take a pause and come back later, or send a command saying, 'Hey, I want like uh, I need the Wi-Fi connection. Can you establish it for me?'" Um, basically just a little self-contained thing where all the information about the Wi-Fi connection is contained in one object, one class, one
Yeah,
instance.
that is what we have right now, actually. So there's this Wi-Fi wrapper that we
Yeah,
have. It keeps track of the connectivity states.
yeah,
So um, if the reporter wants to send out a message to the API with a new measurement, it will check if it is connected. If it's
okay,
not connected, it won't send. And it will send like a message like not connected to the Wi-Fi, um, or just the reporter fails to execute its task, so it doesn't report anything. That's what the API reporter does. And the Wi-Fi wrapper, it has some functions to connect to the Wi-Fi, disconnect from Wi-Fi, and based on the current state, it will actually try to do that or not. Like if you're already connected, there's no point connecting again. So
yeah, yeah, exactly.
um, I think if you're uh, so the issue you're facing is that the Wi-Fi connection drops at some point, but it
Yeah,
doesn't reconnect,
that's
right?
right. That's right.
So I think there's something, if I look at the reporter under API connector. Um, yeah, so if it's not connected, it just returns an error that it's not connected, but that doesn't result in a retry getting connected. So that
Mhm.
is interesting. Um, that's something that can be fixed,
Oh,
actually.
okay. I'm
So
glad to hear that.
I now see that if like the first time it tries to activate the API connector, it
Hmm.
will connect, and then once it's connected, it's active. But it doesn't deactivate itself when well, it's not really deactivate. It's more like in some kind of error state where we'll actually try to activate again. Um, I'd have to look back in the base classes how it actually works. If we can just like make it or force it to activate again, because if we can do that, that's a very easy fix. Um, but now indeed it gets stuck into the Wi-Fi not connected.
Right.
Actually, no, it actually does try to activate again if the Wi-Fi is not connected.
Well,
And
certainly
if
not doing it
that
for me.
activate fails, so
Yeah. It's got to
um,
be fairly subtle because normally what I can do is I can just basically power off the access. Okay, so um, if I pull the plug on like pull the Ethernet cable between my router and the outside world, it
hmm,
reconnects.
yeah,
Uh, but if I just leave it just overnight, I'll reset it, and overnight, and I'll come back in the morning, and it's gone again. So I'm not sure if it's like where the failure in communication is happening. So if you've got Wi-Fi to access point to the transceiver on the tower,
hmm,
and then from the tower to the other tower, and then to the infrastructure of my network provider. or could even be the API is temporarily unavailable. Like I don't know where that, like
Yeah, no, if the API is unavailable, then the Wi-Fi would be connected. So
yes.
that
True,
that that
true, true.
so then the Wi-Fi would be green, but then the message would be different. I do see that I have to look up the Wi-Fi states. There's a
Yeah,
connect failed state, and if it's not the first time connecting, it will not do anything. So
right.
I wonder if you end up in the connect failed state, and then because it's a retry to activate again,
Yeah,
it actually doesn't do anything because it only works the first time.
right.
So that's kind of
Yeah,
interesting to
yeah,
see what the state of the Wi-Fi
yeah.
connection would be. Because I think when I made this, it was more like connect failed is the first time,
Right.
and a disconnect would be that it is actually disconnected by walking away. Or uh,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
I'll have to look it up, but I think based on
Yeah.
your experience, it's probably a Wi-Fi connect failed,
Hmm.
and then it doesn't do anything because it
Right.
retries, but the retry
Yeah,
doesn't actually try
yeah,
to connect. So
yeah. And then at some point, something in the firmware notices and turns the WF flag red. So
yeah, because the Wi-Fi isn't connected, so that
yeah,
the flag turning the flag red means that it's in the graphic screen.
yeah,
So just the rendering of the status bar,
yeah.
it will see is the Wi-Fi required for this mode? And since you're in real-time mode, it is a requirement. Then it will just ask that Wi-Fi interface, are we connected? And if it's not connected, then it will be red.
Oh, I
So
see, I see, I see.
that
So okay,
it's separate from the view itself, and there's
okay. So it's just okay. So it's just a indicator rather
yep.
than okay. Okay. Anyway, can I leave it
Yep.
with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I still have some work open at the moment
okay.
with the log viewer.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll see if I can make a separate branch with this fix, but I would like to finish up the log viewer as well.
Yeah. No,
Maybe I'll
no. I
just
just
disable it for the UI
yeah,
user, and then we can, for development, continue working on it.
yeah.
Uh, but I'm also still struggling with that bug I introduced. I mentioned it
Oh,
last week. Even not using the log viewer and now just navigating the menu becomes even more annoying. So
oh, I see. Okay.
I don't really want to push this as a to development or something where
No,
maybe someone
no.
will pick it up and uh, yeah, that's I have to find some time for this. Been quite busy. Uh, but yeah, I think your issue would be a smaller fix, so
Yeah.
that's something
Okay.
we can do
So anyway,
fast.
I'm staying out of the Zen code now just because I don't recognize it much anymore. So
So
yeah.
Yeah,
how do you install a software update? How do you push them out?
we use the M5 burner. Um,
But how would I update my unit if you put out? How does that process work?
I think it's in the on the website of the Zen.
Yeah.
But basically,
Actually, I couldn't find the operating manual for this. I poked
Oh,
around the
oh,
website. I must have missed it, but where is that?
um,
um, hang on. Let me look it up. Uh, there's
yeah, there is. It's on the official Zen website. I'll post it in the channel.
Well, maybe I'm just looking in the wrong place.
Yeah, there is this bGeigieZen.safecast.gp, and then there's this technical info software. From there,
there. Hang on. Let me post it
I
to
think how
the.
to burn new firmware. There's a little description on that.
Hang on. Where's my? Yeah, you got the software. Okay, you found it, yeah. And
So is this from the Safecast website?
yes,
Yep.
All right, let me
Let me just
safecast
share my
dot
screen.
JP. So yeah, right at the top. So if I can share okay, you're going to share your screen. Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So
yeah, so I'm looking at
just here.
safecast.org, so I'm probably in the wrong website.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
so if you
I
look,
mean,
Yella put the link in the chat on Slack.
I think from the
Oh, okay.
safecast.org you can also get there.
Okay.
It would be at the
Okay.
maybe through devices,
Okay, I got it.
bGeigieZen.
Yeah, all right.
There's always links all over
Yeah.
the place. But
Okay, yeah. So,
finding this, just going through software, I can usually go through the bGeigieZen GitHub because there's also the
okay.
link on the side. And it has the software information. So, I
Okay.
mean, I guess we can improve on that. If you are not able to find it easily enough, then it's something that we
Yeah.
can work on. But we use the M5 burner. It's the software to install new software on your M5 stack. So on the Core 2 or Core S3, there's the firmware. You can just select a version and download, and if it's connected to the core or to the Zen in this case, I would just upload the new version
Yeah.
of the software.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, just plug in your USB, and then go through the procedure with the M5 burner. And that way, I mean, what we use is basically the development, but the whole development environment, including source code. If you're interested in that, that's a whole different kettle of fish. Um, the M5 burner is made for these M5 stack devices, and it's just so from time to time, Rob will upload the more recent version into the M5 burner environment, or like the repository there, and that's what you have access to.
Okay.
Yep. Although I think he does upload it with his own settings, because the M5 burner, how it works is you just rip everything of your own. So he connects his Zen. It says this is the version I want to upload, but it also includes all the settings and all.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the latest versions are like clean. I do remember telling him like you can do a full reset on your own Zen and to keep out the SD card.
Yeah.
And that way, if you upload it, it will actually have like a clean state where a new user could just use their own SD card, and then if they boot up, they get well the first time message, etc. It's I'm not sure, but the M5 burner software is not amazing in this case.
No.
It has its upsides and downsides. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, but
No, it's
it
kind
is
of
for the
awkward.
user. It is very easy because you can select the version that you want and just download, and you don't need any knowledge of platform I/O commands or Python or ESP tooling. So this is very easy.
Yeah, that's my level of of
Yeah,
operations.
yeah. So in that case, on the M5 Stack website, you can download the
Well,
M5 burner tool.
I presume what I have now must be current.
Must be
Uh,
current. Oh, on your Zen, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
you probably have the latest
yeah.
version.
Well, when did no? I seem to remember you sent yours to Rob for troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
so
was about a month. That was about a month ago.
I don't think there's anything been released since then.
No, not really. Don't think so. All right.
So Rob sent out a message that he was testing something. What exactly is he doing?
Oh, the hang on a second. That what was it? PPFC fuse?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Uh, Polypropylene. It's basically it's a carbon loaded plastic that um, acts as a fuse at the resettable fuse. So what happens if you insert the battery backwards, you're going to
Mhm.
get a massive pulse of current, and that is going to heat up that fuse, and it's going to effectively disconnect. Well, it goes to very high resistance and stays that way until you repair the fault. Deal with the fault by pulling out the battery. Wait till it cools, and then it will conduct again. So that's basically, and that's an alternative to the current arrangement where there's a real fuse in a socket. Well, you assembled it yourself. Um, and if you insert the battery backwards, then that fuse will blow, and then you have to go find another fuse. So um, I'm of, you know, I don't think it's worth the effort. I think uh, personally, I'm kind of old school. I like a fuse that I can see. Yeah, it's blowing.
Yeah.
These polypropylene fuses have a problem that if you exercise them too many times, the they don't never reset back to the original low current. But
Yeah.
our current draw is actually fairly low, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the fuse teaches the user a lesson.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's that too. Um, Many times when I was teaching uh, students how to use an ammeter, there was a learning opportunity there as I sent them to the supply cabinet to get another fuse. Actually, it wasn't a supply cabinet. It was a grouchy lab technologist who would lecture them as he handed them a fuse.
Yeah. So on another subject, that that spectrometer you had
Yeah.
sent me the link to, did you notice that they seem to only display it in the linear mode?
No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, because then when you if you've got a complex spectrum, you won't see the smaller peaks.
Right,
And actually, in that one example that had an X-ray peak in the low energy region, that's a very common thing. The X-rays could be from the decay chain, or if there's any shielding material around it, that can generate X-rays. And in those spectra, that's the dominant peak, and it's not the peak of interest. You know,
right,
if you were looking at cesium-137 and it was in a shield and it's banging it, photons are banging in, making X-rays, you create this peak there that really isn't what you're looking for. So
right,
if you have the logarithmic display, you see all the smaller peaks and the low energy and the low probability branching ratios.
right.
And if you have a complex spectrum, you need to see all those peaks so you can, do the identification.
Okay.
And
Uh,
those kind of behaviors, something that could, if you had an automatic ID algorithm, it could confound that.
right,
Um, Unless you put a threshold in and just cut out all those low energy peaks, but in some cases you want them.
Right.
Uh, so I mean, so in that sense, the user of that particular device isn't necessarily seeing all the information,
Right. Okay.
even though the information might be there.
So, is that, I'm just wondering if that's well, I don't want to delve too much into the whole radio code world. I mean, I've got one, but I think right now I'm going to treat it as a distraction or potential distraction. Um, the So those things that Jan uh, uh, published, the one with it's got the zero background.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's in
Yeah.
the in the Slack.
Yeah.
Those two that I put there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And you can see that actually the one on the right is even more so that spectrum you're looking at some sort of uranium series at 609.
Yeah. Hang
But
on. Let me share the screen so I make sure that we're both talking about the same thing. Trying to figure out what am I looking at here. That's it. Yeah, that's the one. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
was talking about the other one, the one on the right.
looks
That
like
one, yeah. Yeah.
the
You see how in the linear mode that X-ray peak just dominates everything, actually.
right. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's count per second. Yeah, it's linear. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's the background. So
Right.
yeah,
And so, in a low count rate environment, you can see the peaks if you're in logarithmic.
right.
Likewise, conversely, you won't see them if you're only in a linear mode.
Right. Yeah, the other thing is that noticing here is that I mean this is a gas of oh, we're running out of time, are we? Uh
We
um
still have some time.
yeah,
10
okay.
minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
But here it looks like it's it's pure radon,
Yeah.
right?
Which which again is not a complex spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. So but like I mean I've got a sample of uranothiorite from a mine up in Quebec. And I expect that's going to be quite messy if I look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And also, if you're in the logarithmic mode, you might see the counts from the potassium peak. And you always want to see that. That's the first place you should look. Is that peak in the right place? If the
Ah,
thallium peak is there, you always want to see, the first thing you want to do is look at those two peaks and
mhm.
are they in the right place? Because if they aren't, then the rest of the spectrum is giving you garbage.
Right.
And in if you download it into Interspec, you can either change the gain and change the magnification of the spectrum, or you can just slide it right and left to line
Right.
those peaks up.
Okay. Oh, you never changed the gain so that you're stretching the
Yeah, you
energy.
can either stretch it or shrink it, or you can just slide it.
Right. Okay.
And it
Yes.
depends on what the correction, or maybe a combination of the two. And
Right.
that's where if you do an auto ID, if the calibration is off, you're going to get false IDs to the
Right.
user.
Okay.
And again, that comes down, did you count long enough to get those peaks? I mean, in the professional kind of grade spectrometers that have automatic ID, the software looks for those peaks.
Mm.
So
Right.
it does an internal gain correction. The software has an ability to do with a gain correction.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty much off the idea of trying to do any sort of serious spectrum analysis right now. I just I just want counts.
Yeah, right. And then, the user can download it into
Yeah, true.
Interspec and do their own thing.
So Interspec is available, like widely available?
Yeah, it's free. Yeah,
Okay.
it's I probably have the link somewhere. It's on a Sandia website.
Okay. I will go look for it at some point.
Yeah, I have it running on my machine. But the downside of it is it doesn't have a spectrum, it doesn't have a reference spectrum library.
Okay.
You can pull up the lines for spectrum, but you can't, you couldn't do like what I was doing with bGeigieZen to put two reference spectra together and compare them and that sort of thing.
Okay. Oh, bGeigieZen is the is proprietary?
Yeah, that's a Los Alamos program, and that's a yeah, that's the you got to have an account and you got to be approved for it. I don't know why they don't release it, but it may be because of the Spectrum library. There's nothing special about it, but
Okay.
whatever the reason, it's not public software. But it pretty much is the same as Interspec. The only difference that I really can see is the Spectrum library.
Okay. I'm just wondering if it exists somewhere else. Maybe somebody some
No, you won't
nobody in
find it.
Europe or would have a library like that.
I don't know. I actually I forget the fellow's name that is the guy who owns the Interspec. I had sent him an email a while back and questioned him about that, but he didn't answer me.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it right now, though.
Yeah, you got a ways to go.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think we're running out of time. Stop
Yep.
sharing. Yeah, 5 minutes. I didn't have anything else.
I'm done.
Okay.
Same.
All right. Well, have a good week.
All right.
Yep.
See you next week.
Yep.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.